Something strange is happening around Kim Kardashian, and she's doing everything she can to keep it quiet. For months now, whispers have been circling about a secret connection she's trying to hide. Not from the public, but from the one person who could turn her entire world upside down, Kanye West. At the same time, her daughter North is stepping into the spotlight in ways no one expected, defending herself online, clapping back at adults, and making decisions most 12-year-olds wouldn't even think about. And behind all of this, Kim is juggling a private situation that could explode the moment it gets exposed. Because when you look closely, the pieces don't add up. Kim hiding something. Kanye unusually quiet. North suddenly acting like she's grown. And the deeper you dig, the more obvious it becomes that this family is balancing on a knife's edge, trying to manage secrets, scandals, and a past that refuses to stay buried. Let's get into it. For years, the internet has been buzzing about one of the most persistent rumors in celebrity culture: Kim Kardashian and Drake quietly keeping something going behind the scenes. Nothing has ever been confirmed, but the speculation refuses to die, especially because every few months something new pops up that sends fans right back into detective mode. And lately, those whispers have gotten a lot louder. It started again when people noticed that Kim and Drake had posted photos from what looked like the exact same Italian mansion last summer. No tags, no hints, nothing obvious. Just enough for the internet to grab onto and run with. From there, the theories grew fast, with online outlets claiming the two have been on and off for years and keeping things low-key to avoid turning it into another media storm. Some reports even say Drake has always had a thing for Kim, going all the way back to when he allegedly moved to Hidden Hills to be closer to her. These aren't confirmed facts, just stories circulating online, but fans repeat them because they line up with the moments that have raised eyebrows in the past. And of course, the Kiki rumor is still one of the most talked about theories. Every time someone hears "Kiki, do you love me?", people instantly jump to Kim's old nickname and wonder if that was a hidden message. Then there was Drake's lyric about confessing sins that he wouldn't believe, which fans immediately tied back to the long-running tension between him and Kanye. Again, nothing proven, just what people have been saying for years. But the timing has always been suspicious enough to keep the internet hooked. And what makes the situation even more interesting is how private both Kim and Drake have stayed whenever these rumors resurface. No denials, no clarifications, just silence. Almost like they'd rather keep everything in the shadows, especially with Kanye watching their every move. But the real reason Kim keeps this rumored connection buried goes much deeper, and it has everything to do with the one man she's terrified of setting off again. If there's one person Kim knows she cannot provoke, it's Kanye West. Their history is packed with blow-ups, online meltdowns, and jealous spirals that turned private issues into global headlines overnight. And that's exactly why any rumor involving Drake sends Kim straight into panic mode. She's seen firsthand how unpredictable Kanye becomes when another man even stands near her, let alone someone he already has long-standing tension with. The Pete Davidson situation is a perfect example. Kanye didn't just dislike Kim's relationship. He went on full public campaigns against Pete, posting disturbing drawings and messages that made the entire situation unsafe. Pete eventually walked away, not because the romance ended naturally, but because, according to reports, he genuinely feared what Kanye might do. And Kim hasn't forgotten how quickly things escalated when Kanye felt replaced. So imagine how he'd react if he believed Kim had any kind of connection with Drake, even if it's just rumor. Drake has always been a sore spot for Kanye. The two have gone back and forth for years, trading subliminal shots in lyrics and interviews. And when the Kiki rumor went viral, Kanye didn't just get upset. He accused Kim publicly of being unfaithful during their marriage. Kim later said on her show that the person who was supposed to protect her the most was the one pushing false accusations that nearly destroyed her reputation. That level of volatility doesn't fade just because the marriage is over. Kanye still keeps tabs on Kim, still reacts emotionally, and still feels deeply territorial when it comes to anything involving her. And Kim knows that all it would take is one slip, one photo, one rumor that spirals to send Kanye into another public frenzy. So she stays quiet, She keeps things private. She avoids anything that could reboot the chaos she's spent years trying to escape. But while Kim is trying to dodge another explosive reaction, her daughter North is stepping into a level of public attention that's raising even more questions. While Kim is working overtime to avoid stirring up drama with Kanye, North West has suddenly become one of the most talked about kids on the internet. Not because of anything childish, but because she's acting more like a full-blown celebrity than a 12-year-old, and the speed of her transformation is shocking even longtime Kardashian watchers. In just a few months, North has gone from posting goofy TikToks to openly calling out adults online, defending her dad in public, and making comments that sound way too grown for her age. She's responding to critics, clapping back at paparazzi, and even dropping hints about what goes on inside the family, stuff the Kardashians usually keep locked up behind NDAs and reality TV editing. Then there's her fashion evolution. North is dressing in pieces that look exactly like Kanye's early Yeezy era, oversized jackets, boots, unconventional silhouettes, almost like she's trying to send a message. And fans have noticed, every time Kim posts glossy, curated content, North shows up wearing something raw, edgy, and unmistakably Kanye. It's like she's choosing her stylistic side without saying a word. But the real turning point was when North started appearing in interviews and on stage with a confidence that feels way beyond her age. She's rapping, performing, giving unfiltered opinions, and acting like someone who knows the spotlight is waiting for her. And the scary part? She understands the internet. She knows how to go viral. She knows how to get a reaction. That's not typical kid behavior. That's the kind of awareness you see in someone who's been studying fame their entire life. And behind the scenes, insiders say Kim is struggling to control it. North is unpredictable, outspoken, and fiercely loyal to Kanye. 3 things that clash with Kim's polished, PR-approved brand. Every time North goes off script, Kim's team scrambles. Every time North picks up Kanye's mannerisms or repeats something he said, the internet explodes. Which makes people wonder, is North naturally growing up in the spotlight? Or is she reacting to something happening between her parents that we're not seeing? Because the timing isn't random, and the next part reveals why things around Kim suddenly feel so unstable. Then came the moment that sent the internet into a spiral, North's finger piercing. What should have been a simple fashion choice instantly turned into one of the biggest debates around the Kardashian family. Because people weren't just shocked, they were concerned. Photos surfaced showing North with what looked like a needle-style piercing going straight through her finger. And the reaction was immediate. Fans, critics, even parents groups started questioning how something like that was allowed. Overnight, hashtags popped up calling it dangerous, inappropriate, and way too grown. The conversation wasn't about jewelry, it was about parenting. Kim tried to brush it off, making it seem harmless and fun, but the damage was already done. The clip went viral, and suddenly people were talking less about the piercing and more about why Kim was letting North act so adult. Rumors started flying that North was pushing boundaries at home, doing whatever she wanted, and that Kim didn't know how to rein her in without sparking a bigger public issue. What made it even messier was how North responded. Instead of staying quiet, she doubled down, posting confidently, almost proudly, as if the backlash didn't faze her at all. And that attitude, that cool, unbothered confidence, is what set off even more speculation. Some fans said she looked like she was imitating Kanye's rebellious streak. Others claimed she was craving independence because of the tension between her parents. Either way, the internet agreed. North wasn't acting like a regular kid anymore. And the piercing wasn't just a trend, it was a symbol, a warning sign, a message that North was stepping into her own identity, even if it clashed with Kim's carefully polished public image. But the real twist came from what people started noticing right after, something Kim didn't expect anyone to pick up on. Because once the piercing controversy went viral, fans began spotting clues that suggested Kim was hiding a much bigger problem behind the scenes, and it all connects to what happened next. If the piercing wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, what North did next pushed everything into overdrive. Instead of letting the controversy fade, she started fighting with adults online. And that's when people realized things were spiraling way beyond fashion choices. Comments started popping up on TikTok and Instagram showing North clapping back at strangers, correcting rumors, and shutting down anyone who questioned her. And these weren't playful kid responses. These were sharp, confident, almost celebrity-level comebacks. She defended her dad, shaded people who spoke on her life, and even hinted that she knows things the internet doesn't, which immediately set off a wave of speculation. Some fans praised her for being bold. Others were stunned that someone her age even had access to the comment sections Kim usually keeps locked down. But the biggest shock came when North directly replied to an adult critic, telling them to worry about their own life. Screenshots spread everywhere, and suddenly news outlets were running headlines about North's behavior. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Kim's team panicked. Every time North responded to someone, it became a new headline. Every clapback created another debate about parenting, boundaries, and how much control Kim really has. And people noticed a pattern. North defended Kanye constantly, but she hardly defended Kim at all. That part shook fans the most, because the more North spoke, the more it sounded like she was choosing sides publicly. And then came the moment that truly exposed how messy things were getting. After days of back and forth with online critics, North went live, talking freely, laughing, and dropping little hints about what goes on at home. Nothing explosive, but enough for viewers to realize she wasn't being supervised the way people thought. Her behavior didn't just create noise, it created questions. Questions about who's raising her day to day. Questions about how much influence Kanye still has. And questions about why Kim seems unable or unwilling to step in. But the real issue wasn't the comments. It was the pattern people started seeing, because the next controversy made everything even harder for Kim to explain. And it got the internet wondering if she had lost control completely. Just as North's online behavior started getting out of hand, people noticed something even more unsettling happening on the other side of the family. Kanye West was acting unusually quiet. And if there's one thing everyone knows about Ye, it's that he doesn't stay silent for long, especially when it comes to Kim or their kids. For months, Kanye's public presence shifted in a way that didn't feel normal. No rants, no explosive interviews, no sudden social media storms. Instead, he moved almost completely under the radar, popping up only in brief clips or fan videos. And even in those, he looked distant, distracted, almost like something was weighing on him. Reports started surfacing that he was spending more time with North behind the scenes. Not in a dramatic or chaotic way, but in a quiet, intense, teaching mode type of way. Fans pointed out that North's style, her unfiltered confidence, and even the rhythm of her speech were starting to mirror Kanye's early career energy. It was subtle, but impossible to ignore. Then came rumors that Kanye was working on something privately, something he was keeping hidden from the public, and possibly even from Kim. Insiders claimed he'd become more protective, more involved, and more determined to shape North's growing spotlight. And that's where things got complicated. Because the calmer Kanye got, the louder the speculation became. People began asking if he knew something the public didn't. Some said he was preparing for a major announcement. Others suggested he was intentionally staying silent to avoid triggering Kim during a delicate moment. But the most talked about theory? Fans believed Kanye sensed that Kim was trying to keep something from him, and that he was watching everything play out through North. And the timing was too perfect to ignore. North's rebellious shift, the piercing, the confrontations online, Kanye's sudden strategic silence. It all felt connected. And then, right as the internet started putting the pieces together, something happened that made the whole situation blow up again, pulling Kim directly into the spotlight and exposing just how fragile the balance inside this family really is. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get any stranger, Kim showed up with a brand new look, and the internet immediately connected it to Kanye. It wasn't the usual polished, glamorous Kim appearance. This was different. Sharper, darker, almost like she was pulling inspiration from the same era Kanye is known for reinventing. The timing raised eyebrows instantly. While North was embracing her dad's style, Kim suddenly shifted into a look that felt suspiciously similar to the aesthetic she used back when she and Kanye were still deeply connected. Minimal makeup, muted tones, structured silhouettes, even hairstyles that looked like throwbacks to her Yeezy era. But the part that fueled the most speculation was how Kanye responded. He didn't say anything publicly, yet fans noticed that whenever Kim posted her new photos, Kanye's fan pages started analyzing them like clues. Some claimed she was trying to get Kanye's attention. Others argued she was trying to remind the public that she helped build the very aesthetic Kanye is now passing on to North. And then came the whispers. Reports surfaced claiming Kanye wasn't happy about Kim leaning back into a style he helped create, especially while North was already drifting toward his side. Sources said he saw it as a strategic move, almost like Kim was trying to reclaim influence over North's image. Kim, on the other hand, acted unbothered, but her sudden aesthetic shift didn't look accidental. It looked calculated, like a visual message meant for one person. Fans began asking the same question across every platform. Was Kim trying to pull North back toward her image? Or was she trying to remind Kanye that she still knows how to control the narrative? And that question only got louder when another rumor broke, one that tied every strange change in this family right back to Kim's hidden secret, the one she's been trying desperately to keep buried. Just as the drama between Kim, North, and Kanye hit a boiling point, something happened that pushed the entire situation into a darker, more unpredictable territory. Kim's Skims storefront was hit with a graffiti attack. It wasn't random tagging, it wasn't teenage vandalism, it looked targeted. Bold, messy letters sprayed across the display windows, calling out Kim directly. The messages were personal, angry phrases accusing her of being fake, controlling, and lying to the public. It was the kind of attack that didn't just vandalize property. It sent a message. And the moment photos of the graffiti hit social media, everything exploded. People immediately connected it to the rising tension in Kim's life. Some said it was a fed-up fan taking things too far. Others thought it was someone angry about North's recent controversies. And then the most viral theory claimed the attack was tied to the rumored drama between Kim and Kanye, suggesting someone wanted to expose the secret Kim has been trying to hide. Kim's team moved fast, cleaning the storefront within hours and issuing a bland statement that made the situation sound harmless. But fans weren't buying it. The attack happened too suddenly, too precisely, and too close to the swirl of problems surrounding North and Kanye. It didn't feel like coincidence. It felt symbolic. Even more suspicious was Kim's reaction after the cleanup. She went silent. No jokes, no sarcastic comments, no polished PR posts, just quiet. And for someone who's mastered the art of controlling the narrative, that silence spoke volumes. It hinted that something behind the scenes was slipping out of her hands, or that she was bracing for the next hit. Because the graffiti wasn't just vandalism, it was a warning shot. And when you add it to everything that's been happening, the hidden rumors, North's sudden transformation, Kanye's eerie silence, and Kim's desperate image shift, you start to see the shape of a story Kim never wanted the public to piece together. And now, all eyes are on one question. What happens when the truth she's been hiding finally comes out? When you step back and look at everything together, it becomes clear that the situation surrounding Kim, Kanye, and North isn't just a series of isolated headlines. It's a slow-building storm. Each moment, each rumor, each shift in behavior connects to something deeper happening inside a family that's been living under a spotlight for more than a decade. Kim is trying to hold on to her image. Kanye is moving in silence like he's planning something. North is stepping into the world faster than anyone expected. And none of it feels random. The finger-piercing, the online fights, the sudden stylistic transformations, every piece reveals a family trying to redefine who they are and where they stand. But the truth is, the more each of them pushes in a different direction, the more obvious it becomes that they're drifting apart. Something is changing behind the scenes, something Kim doesn't want exposed, something Kanye might already know, and something North is hinting at without even realizing it. Whether it's a secret about their past, a shift in their future, or a breaking point they're trying to avoid, the tension between them is starting to spill into public view. And the graffiti attack on the Skims store was the loudest reminder yet that the world is watching closely. Because in families like this, the truth never stays buried forever. It surfaces in the way people speak, the choices they make, the silence they keep, and the battles they're too tired to hide anymore. And as all these pieces keep falling into place, one thing is certain. Whatever Kim has been trying to protect is getting harder to defend. And whatever Kanye is preparing for might change everything when he finally steps forward. The real story isn't what's already happened. It's what's coming next.